At this point in a face-to-face class, just for long-term perspective, I throw something else in on this. All right, this may surprise you. There was a time when different countries used different calendars. Now, the calendar in use in Europe from 50 something BC, as we measure it, to the year 1382 or 1582, it was called the Julian calendar because it was proclaimed by Julius Caesar himself while he was alive. It wasn't quite accurate enough when the solstices and that sort of thing that drift off where they're supposed to be. So in 1582, Pope Gregory XIII promulgated the Gregorian calendar, which we still use. It's in use in much of the world, but not everybody accepted it. England, for example, being pathologically anti-Catholic, refused to accept this popish calendar. So the rest of Europe had been on the calendar we use now for over 150 years before the English finally smelled the coffee and updated it. In September of 1752, they got with the program and jumped forward 11 days to line up with the Gregorian calendar. Because if you travel back and forth between England and France, whichever direction you went, I think one way the date would drop back by 11 days. Can you imagine that? If you go the other way, it jumps ahead by 11 days. People were outraged. I want my 11 days back. No. One other weird thing. I can't resist this. This is just too weird. This is the weirdest true thing I'll ever tell you. Until 1753, the English were observing New Year's Day on March 25th. True, they did. All right. I used to read a lot of English history, and I'd run across these slashed dates: 1710/11, 1732/33, and I think, did they just not know when it was? No, it turns out that you'd have December 31st, 1710, and the next day be January 1st, 1710, all the way up to March 24th, 1710, and the next day be March 25th, 1711. Now, as anti-Catholic as they were, this was a holdover. March 25th had been observed in the Catholic Church as the Feast of the Annunciation. That's basically when the Virgin Mary learns that she's going to have a child. So, since the years are counted from the approximate birth of Jesus, they were dating from the conception rather than the birth. Okay, I didn't need to tell you that. But you weren't alive at this time, but when the year 2000 was approaching, there were people stockpiling bottled water, canned goods, and ammunition. Seriously, there were preppers worried because they thought that up until then, with computer memory space, I shouldn't be doing this, so scarce, to save memory space, the years were just 2 digits. So instead of 1997, it was just 97, 98, 99, and then the odometer rolls over 00. Computers will not know how to handle that. It'll be shoestring tackle. Everything goes muck. It didn't, so we got over that. Anyway, there was fear about the year 1000. That wasn't about computers. That was some people being concerned that if it got to be the year 1000, Jesus would return. Presumably, they were not prepared for that eventuality, so they were worried. But then it turned out that there was not that much common agreement on exactly when it was the year 1000. I'm off the rails. You got to go off the rails every now and then, don't you? Who's with me? Nobody? Okay.